It's important, especially for business people that are trying to grow their business. The business page has one purpose, your profile has another purpose, but I know as far as you and I go, we tend to make our business connections friends, just whether it's face-to-face or online, and one deepens the other.
And you have to consistently be talking on social media. Don't just post once and forget about it for a month and come back. You have to have a plan of action. And you don't want to get up in the morning and think, oh my, what am I going to post today on Facebook? Oh my, on LinkedIn, what group do I want to go talk today in and get a message out to? Oh goodness, I'm on Pinterest. Is there an image there that I want to share? Then that's what happens. So you have to really, as I share with my clients when I'm training, is block out time to create your content, to gather images, to create images. You have to take the time to get your keywords, and what we do, we call it optimizing your profile sites, your business sites with those keywords that you want people to use when they're in those little search bars that are on your platforms. There's a reason for those. And when people put a specific word or phrase in there, it brings up content that can lead back to you if you have the right words in your profile or your page.
Yeah, people have to understand, and I think that's a really, really good lesson you're saying there. Facebook and LinkedIn are not just networking sites. They're also databases, just as much of a database as Google is for searching for keywords that bring up certain people that you may want to contact or you may want to learn from.
Well, exactly. And, when we think of all the different sites, Twitter, there are many individuals that don't really understand Twitter because the content comes through so fast. You're very limited with the characters, the space that you have to write a message. And again, Pinterest and Instagram are just images and videos. So each one of these sites, you have to have a different strategy for, and there's different tonalities that you have to consider. So when you're focusing on your strategy, and this is where most of us fall short, we don't have a strategy. We just do it and hope for the best that whatever we put out there sticks.
Can I say something? In the beginning, you may have to start that way. But the important portion is you also have to catalog your posts offline on a Word doc or Excel file where you can start measuring how many likes, how many comments things are. Now, there is a way in Facebook that you can look at some of that, but you might need more detail than what's there. But that gives you an idea of what's resonating and what's not resonating. Let me ask you another question in reference to that. Do you recommend people hire a professional to train them?
Yes. If they are not sure what they're doing, yes, by all means. And if they don't have time to do it, by all means, hire someone to do it for you. But here's the thing you need to know. When you hire someone to do your social media for you, don't just blindly turn it over to them. Hire someone that's going to sit with you and have a good conversation and ask you specific questions about your business. So together you're building a strategy, and together you're having consistent meetings and where you are aware of what's taking place. I know when I'm managing someone's social media, if a message comes in, I bring it to my client's attention and will possibly compose a response and send that to them and ask them if this is appropriate, or would they like to do the response? Again, you have to be an integral part in your social media. And I am aware that many business owners, especially as small business owners, don't have the time. But please do not neglect your online marketing arena. You will not get ahead today if you're not using online marketing. Now, if you want to do it yourself, you have to block out time, as I said, and you have to start scheduling and planning. That will save you tons of time. You don't want to be scrambling, as I said, to post something on social media at the end of the day, because you have to be looking at the analytics in the back end and see what has been happening. When are your fans, connections, your likers, your connections, whatever they are, you have to know when they're online so you do reach them in the most appropriate way. You also need to be gathering information along the way. I bookmark a lot of sites. I keep an idea booklet, a notebook. If you, and I'm sure everyone has frequently asked questions that they receive, if not on a daily basis, but on a weekly basis, maybe coming through the website, maybe through a conversation with a client or a prospective client. Make note of those questions and keep them in a notebook. That's where you could start creating your messages and information and postings. Build out, there's so many tools on social media that you can actually use to store this information so that it's handy to get to. Using a content calendar is very, very important. And that goes back to what you were saying. When you're starting to post out there on social media, you need to make sure you're making a list of the theme, the topic, the point of what you had posted out there, where you posted it, what platforms, when,
what the results were.
What the results were.
Did you get written engagement? Did you just get some likes? Did you get a heart? All these different things. They all have significance, and they all have meaning in what's being handled out there. And again, it's the art of unselling, but the art of unselling is the process of connecting with people and becoming true friends or business relationships that are there for the long term and putting each other first.
What would be a good example for our unselling on social media?
Unselling would be, talking about an event that's coming up. Okay, we may have an event coming up. Let's say we're going to do a LinkedIn training. Okay, and so what I would talk about, even though we're going to charge a fee for it, we're going to do all this, I want to start talking about the benefits of LinkedIn, the people on LinkedIn that we can connect with on that side of it. The hard part is knowing the audience, but we never finalize our presentations until we know who our audience is and the people in the audience. Where are most of them coming from? What do most of them do?
That's a great example, because what you get them is asking questions to you about LinkedIn.
Yeah, you become very focused on how you're presenting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we can present LinkedIn in a whole bunch of different ways. If I'm talking to a bunch of attorneys, I'm going to be talking one way. If I'm talking to retail stores, I'm going to be talking in a different way.
And once the event is set up to sell and have people register, one of the things that I find is very kind of practicing the art of unselling is when I put the Facebook ad up, I don't ask for money. I actually do an ad that says learn more, take them to a landing page where they can actually download a free one sheet that gives them a little bit more information about that topic. In this in this case, it would be about LinkedIn, again, so that they have that in front of them. And then that will lead them to where they can learn more and connect to where they can purchase or, the workshop, to pay for the workshop and register.
You've just drawn a perfect circle of a small marketing strategy.
Yes.
You laid it out there. You're going to start with Facebook. You're going to go and build a lead capture, which is email. You're going to take your lead capture and you're going to send them to some place where they can get something of importance. Usually it's a download, so now we're talking about print. And then from there, you're going to send them to a different facility to get more information. And that's usually the best way that I've found is a phone call. So you've just taken this thing in a perfect circle and developed a strategy that's going to help you put things together.
In fact, was it the week we were on Christmas, a holiday break, we had a best of show, which was on building out your marketing funnel. And that's exactly what that strategy is a funnel that leads them to where they can actually take action. And that's where you can actually sell them. But it isn't immediate. And that is where a number of us fall short. We want to grow our business. Yes, we would like money to grow our business. But we have to get the community to trust us before they're going to give us that dollar.
Yeah, it's one thing to use a lead capture and say, I want to sell something for $7. It's something else to sell something between $100 and $200. And it's something else to sell something over $200. The level of trust, $7, even if it's nothing, it's $7. It's not going to hurt me. I don't care. $100, yeah, there's a little bit of angst that's in there. Over $200, you better have me really, really good.
And I'm here to say I've dropped a number of $1 up to $17 on a number of items that I will say they provided value, because the people that are creating these action steps, these things where you can actually flavor them, they realize that if it isn't something that will provide value,
you lose them. They're gone.
Lose them.
And they're not coming back. 98% of them will not come back to you again. So, you start out with baby steps, and then you incrementally increase everything that's being handled along the way. Let me ask you one other question here. What about negative comments? Do I just get to the point where I'm going to ignore it, or do I get to the other point where I got to reply?
Very good question. Because there are so many people that really just want to delete them.
We're talking about lead capture and presentations and all this type of stuff. Well, somebody may not thought the presentation was everything that we said it was.
Well, I'm going to begin by answering that question by what I hear from a number of people that are not using social media. They don't want to use social media because they do not want negative comments. Like it or not, there are sites out there, let's say Yelp, for example, that people are putting comments, they're critiquing your business. And if you're not aware of it, there may be some negative comments up there and you aren't addressing them. So you want to be able, it's to your advantage to be able to address anything negative, because then you're in the driver's seat, so to speak, especially on your social platforms, because when the negative comment comes out, you have an opportunity to address it in a public manner. Just that, what I mean by that, your connections are seeing that you are active and you are taking responsibility, and you're aware of this and you're addressing that. Now, I normally lead my clients or share with them that one of the best things to do is to ask them to call you. so that you can address it one-on-one, or private message you
It's
with
a lot
their
more-
phone number, and you'll call them so that you can have an actual conversation and get to the point. You don't want to have this banter going back and forth online, just like you don't want emails going back and forth, because messages get